Are you bored? I'm not. But that's because I'm making a video. What are you doing? Oh, you're watching my video. Awesome. Awesome. So you can't be bored. You must not be bored. But just in case you get bored after this video's over, let me give you a few suggestions. When's the last time you wrote a love letter? When's the last time you wrote anything? I know, it's a caveman thing to do, to pull out a piece of paper and a pen and actually write something down. And that's all the more reason that it really shows somebody that you love how much you care. And it doesn't have to be all fantastical and Shakespearean, just honest. Maybe someone has had a major impact on your life, or maybe you would like to have more of an impact on someone else's life. Let them know that they're in your thoughts, prayers, and that you're really trying to reach out. Sharing is caring. Okay, and I just went totally corny with it. I know a lot of you were thinking, yeah, you know what, maybe I will write a love letter. And then I went ahead and said, sharing is caring. And now you're like, oh no, that's too corny. I'm never going to do that. So you know what? I know, I crossed the line. This is going to sound real crazy, but a love letter doesn't even have to be a letter. Just give somebody a token, something that says, you mean the world to me. Okay, another suggestion, and this is going to sound real crazy too, because we live in a day and age where your neighbor might turn out to be Jeffrey Dahmer. And a lot of us are afraid to go and knock on a next door neighbor's door. But do it. You know why? Because if it is Jeffrey Dahmer living next door to you, he is less likely to kill you and eat you if he gets to know you. Be like, homie, I seen your face. I know where you live. It's important to be very friendly with your neighbors because murderers are less likely to kill people that they like. At least the murderers I know. So it's a good idea to invite your neighbors over for dinner. Or if you can't afford dinner, I invited a bunch of my neighbors over for desserts because I can't afford to feed all y'all. Unless it's a potluck. See, but I'm not going to do a potluck either because I don't know y'all yet. I don't know what y'all like to put in your potato salad. So I invited them over for desserts. I made them a cake, cookies, and we just sat just for an hour. You know, y'all ain't got to take your shoes off and kick your feet up and all that. I just want to chit chat, get to know you guys. It's a good idea to know your neighbors. It will help you out in life. It will enrich your life. Okay, another suggestion. I'm sure there's someone in your life that you haven't talked to in a while and you're always saying to yourself, you know, I should call them. I have some really old godparents and I want to call them before, you know, my aunt, she hasn't been feeling well and I should call her before, you know. It's not just the old people. You need to call the young people in your life too because you never know. Not Facebook, not Twitter, not text message. Anyways, I'm sure there's someone you really have been thinking about. Here's my suggestion. Don't just call them. Prank call them. How funny will that be? You're gonna be like, I can't wait to prank call my old godparents because they won't know what the heck is going on. They'll probably hang up on me. So it will motivate you to actually pick up the phone and call them because you're going to be anxious for the laugh. And they'll get to finally hear your voice. It'll spark the conversation. And at the end of it, it's going to be like, I'm glad you called. And you're going to be like, I'm so glad I called. See, do it. Prank call somebody that you haven't talked to in a long while. It's going to be funny. Hello. I heard you need your toilet fixed. I'm going to come over later this afternoon. Is that okay? Yeah, I heard you clogged it up real good. You know, you need a high fiber diet, especially later in life. Okay, here's a good one. This one's much more serious. An hour of prayer and meditation. A quiet moment to clear your mind and to be grateful. It's such a cliche for us to say, even if I had 1,000 tongues, I just couldn't thank God enough. I'm so blessed. But how often do you actually take time to express? It's just like a burst of sunlight coming from your heart. Set aside an hour at least. I mean, it sounds like a long time, but an hour goes by like that, you know, when you're doing something silly like sitting on YouTube. But take the time to express your gratitude. Let it flow, let it pour. It'll feel so good. Here's a good one. Check out the free stuff section on Craigslist. It feels so good when you find a good deal, and there is no better deal than free, honey. There is a whole section of free stuff. You might find some really cool stuff. You might also come across some scammers, so be very careful. Craigslist is a wild and crazy kind of place. But you can also find some really cool stuff for free. Or if you're one of those people that's trying to get rid of stuff, then go on Craigslist and post it. Be a blessing. Or you know what's even better? Sometimes people will post what they're looking for, what they need. Look in that section and see if you have something that somebody else is looking for. Check it out. And here's one if you want to get up and away from the computer, which of course you don't want to do until after this video is over and you've subscribed, of course. Go play a kid game. Remember how fun hide and go seek was and freeze tag. Oh my gosh. And guess what? It still is. Nothing's changed. You changed. The games didn't change. They're still just as fun. Maybe you aren't so fun anymore, but the games are still just as fun. So get your fun back, man. There is no reason you cannot get up and go play a game of hide and go seek right now. Unless you're alone, then that's a pretty good reason, because then it's not playing a game. You'll just be sitting in a closet. But if you aren't alone, if you have a roommate, a spouse, kids, play, go wrestle, do something that won't give you carpal tunnel. And back to that being alone thing, you could still go for a jog. I mean, you know, there's nobody chasing you and nobody to tag and you're not it, but you could pretend. Personally, I don't like to jog. It's too hard on the knees. But a good walk, so refreshing. And speaking of enjoying life, my last suggestion, watch some awesome YouTube videos such as the ones on my channel. Go pop some popcorn, pull up a seat, and enjoy. I hope I've given you some great ideas. At least one of those ideas should appeal to you. Otherwise, I don't know what to say. I guess you're just a boring person. But even if that's the case, I still wish you peace and many blessings. Spread the happy with JAE Tracie.
Dislike, smish like.